Yeah. Let's be done with that.
We're back again. Back again on the pushback, pushing back. About to go push back on our boards after this episode because it is a beautiful.
It's supposed to be like 80. It's like a 20-degree swing in either direction every day.
And you guys are in Philly, right? So weather's probably beautiful there.
It's in the 60s. It's warm enough. It's cloudy, but it's great for riding.
Yeah.
That's the perfect weather for riding because then you're at that point where it's not. I don't know. It's not too hot. It's breezy enough. You're getting a breeze and you're not sweating your balls off, especially if you're on trails or something like that. But welcome to the pushback, homies.
Thanks for being here.
We're glad to be here.
We have.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, we're honored to have you. It goes that way.
What? How should I refer to you guys? Like we've got Onewheel Philly, right? Or we have Fluid Theory. Like, what do you guys prefer? Like, what do you guys prefer to go by for your crew? Like,
well, I mean, so we started out as Onewheel Philly, and then that's where we met doing group rides, and recently formed Fluid Theory. So it's kind of like multifaceted. Where we're Onewheel Philly representing our local riding group, but as a company, Fluid Theory.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. So you guys got the company Fluid Theory, which is, I mean, this is fresh out the gate too, right? We're not talking like Onewheel Philly's been around for a while, but you guys, what we're going to talk about today, the Street Sparks, which I've got one in front of me, which is amazing. We're going to talk a little bit about this today, but beyond that, like this is, I don't think this is to market yet, right?
No, we're pre-sales right now. So we have our first production run. I mean, we were prototyping for months. We went through 5 or 6 different versions before we landed on this one. And, we should be ready to start selling in May. We're just waiting for our manufacturer to deliver. The process, they're made. We're just waiting for delivery now. So
That's awesome. Is this
And if I may add,
Yeah.
we literally just met like September
Yeah.
last year. So everything's brand new.
And this is your first product, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So Onewheel Philly, your big crew. How many members are there in that group?
So, like, on our Facebook group, we have about 500, a little over 500 members. Getting them all out on a single ride has not happened. That would be amazing. But
That would be crazy.
Our largest ride that we did last year was for Halloween. And we had 48 one-wheelers, 2 e-skates, and 2 EUCs out with us. So we were, just over 50 people in costumes and hammered and stoned riding around Philadelphia.
Great.
All the costumes, man, crack me up with it. Like, I'm totally for it. I thought about getting, for Oak City, I thought about getting like a full, like, Scully romper print.
Nice. I think I'm gonna do some like really short shorts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like a tube top.
Yeah, like
That's in.
I'm into it.
So how many people are there in Fluid Theory, like in your company?
There's just the 3 of us.
The 3 of you. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Sweet, man. So you got the 3 homies, and I don't want to skip past. Like, we're not going to skip past the question. We're going to always go back to this, and I want to start from left to right to be like, how'd you guys get into Onewheel? But I think it's just a good it's a good intro to people. Like, you guys aren't someone on the map like the Float Life or something like. Right out the gate, this is a new company. We love having new companies on the pushback to talk about their products, hopefully help give them a platform and have some things in. So before we get into the product, though, I do want to know a little bit about you guys' backstory. And Andrew, I'm going to start with you. So tell us a little bit, Andrew, how did you get into Onewheel?
Yeah, so I had no idea that I wanted a Onewheel.
As all of us.
Yeah, I was always like a skater and snowboarding. I did some surfing when I was younger. I was looking at e-skateboards and stuff like that, and never pulled the trigger on it. And then it was a birthday present last year from my wife. She just bought me a pint, and honestly, I was kind of like, oh, I don't even know if I like this thing. I didn't look at it, but then when she told me she ordered it, I started watching all the videos and getting really excited about it. And before the board arrived, I posted my first group ride. I had 0 miles, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do a group ride. Why not?" And I just fell in love with it right away. I was out every night, and then after doing some group rides, like I basically got peer pressured into buying an XR because everybody was like, "Your pint range sucks," and you're leading these group rides, and we have
Friends don't let friends buy pints.
Hey,
yeah. I mean, I still ride my pint. I love the pint. And honestly, I think it made me a better rider starting on the pint and graduating to the XR. But yeah, I mean, big shout out to my wife for knowing me better than I know myself and letting me go out and hang out with these degenerates and ride around Philly all the time.
How big are you? Like, I don't want to get too personal. Like, how big are you? Like, tall? Like, what's your weight range? Like, where are you sitting at to be like a pint rider?
I'm about 5'11", just over 200 pounds. So it's like it really, on the group rides, I was basically always in pushback, trying to lead the group on the pint.
I wish I didn't know what that was like.
Very cool, man. All right, so let's move over to Dan, and let's hear a little bit, man. How'd you get into one wheel?
So I was kind of in a bad spot in my life. I had just gotten divorced. I was going through some depression, and I kept seeing ads for it on Facebook. And like I saw how much it was, and I was like, I'm not paying that much for a toy. Like, and I kept putting it in the oh man, the echo's so bad. Sorry. I kept putting it in the cart to buy it and being like, nah, I can't do it. And then one day I was just like, F it, like I need something to do. I need to get out of the house. I bought it. Literally 30 minutes after it came, I broke my elbow.
I have the video.
Great video, by the way.
We got the video.
You can't make that up.
I mean, I got on it. I used to skateboard, so I was flying around on it, and I was like, this is easy. And took out my camera and was videoing and just smack. I was like, this is awesome. Boom. Landed right on my elbow. I hit my head. But I was back on the board riding within like 3 days. With a splint on my arm.
That's that moment that you either see somebody's board come up on Facebook Marketplace saying, yeah, I bought this. It's got 3 miles. You see a big ding on it. You're like, well, you definitely fucked yourself up, didn't you?
Right. I mean, I knew I loved it then, because even when I was sitting in the emergency room, I was like, when can I get back and ride it? Like, so yeah, I mean, I fell in love with it right away, and it's definitely worth the money. The best purchase I've ever made in my life.
How many times did you break your elbow though?
Twice confirmed. The third time, I just was like, I already know what this is. And
dude, you got to learn to roll out
or put an elbow pad on.
I've probably crashed more than both of them, and
It's not a good group ride if he doesn't fall.
This sounds like something Travis would say.
Yeah.
T-Rex with a W.
Cool. All right. Well, that's dude, that's solid. Let's hear a little bit about Marty. How'd you get into one wheel?
For me, hold on. So at the time, I was working in Philly, coming from Jersey, and I had to commute every day, and my license was suspended at the time. So I was taking a train over to another train and walking a few miles to the gym that I was working at. And one day I saw this guy just carving down a hill, like bombing, carving. I'm like, what is that? And as soon as he passes by, I'm like, yo, what is that? He's like, it's a one wheel, as he's going by me like this. and this was in 2019. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, Facebook knew that I saw a one wheel that day. And I just kept getting all these ads on Facebook. I started YouTubing it. And then I fell onto Sly Dog Stroh's YouTube videos. Okay. And that was it. I was like, look, I need to figure out how I'm going to pay for this. And thank God for Klarna. I financed that shit right away. Oops, sorry. And the rest is history, really. But yeah, been loving it ever since.
Hell yeah. Very cool. All right. So I want to get like a year range here. Like what, I would say who got into one wheel first, but like what, yours is obviously the most recent, right? Who's been riding the longest?
Well, so Marty's probably been riding the longest.
Okay.
Actually, Marty was part of One Wheel Philly before Dan and I had boards, but it was kind of a dead group, right? Yeah.
Well, so when I got my board April 2019, and I rode to work, and then I got my license back. So then I stopped riding for a while. And again, I had the 2019, but I only hit 1,000 miles last week or 2 weeks ago on my original XR.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't really riding a lot until, Andrew started, setting up these group rides. Because after a while, riding by myself was just so hard, just because I have ADD. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I was just learning how to do tricks and things like that. But I really needed someone to ride with to kind of push those miles. And I even attempted to buy my brother a pint so he would ride with me.
There you go.
And ended up just wasting $900. So now I have a pint. It didn't hit the stoke. The stoke didn't hit him as much as it hit me. But until last summer, like I said, I haven't really been putting any miles. And since then, I ride every day. I've 4 boards now.
Damn.
I'm getting into trails, and yeah, I just love it. But yeah, longest, but not the most miles.
Can you
It's
hear me?
this guy.
Yeah, I saw you took your earbuds out real quick. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
All right, Marty, I got a question for you too. What are your
Sure.
what's your 4 boards? What do you like? What's your setup?
So I currently got the GT, which I love with the new firmware. Oh my god,
Everybody's raving about the firmware.
dude! It's last night was the first time. It was incredible, especially on flow. But anyway, so then I have a W2F CBXR lowered, and then I have a growler with the stump pack and pint.
Okay, very
Now
cool.
my girlfriend wants a Pint X. I'm trying to convince her to get the GT.
Just go GT. Don't let people buy pints.
Right?
Friends don't let friends buy pints. Taylor just
so-
looks at me all stinky faced.
I'm still rocking a stock pint, guys. I understand the whole pushback thing.
Taylor, don't forget
One
to
of
cut
you
yourself
riding
too,
a
dude.
pint?
Yeah, Taylor. Our
That is me. I'm
Yes.
still riding pints.
Taylor is our pint man back here.
he's our professional board borrower.
Yeah. He's like, hey, can I take, so we got names for our boards, right? And I'm always, he's like, oh, can I take Picante? Because Picante is my orange board that I've always, it's got like my slick tire on it. I just throw a veg on it. Like it's just my trick board. And so he's always giving me, oh, can I borrow Picante? Can I take Picante? So yeah, you guys got a solid, solid story and stuff, but what the hell makes you guys like come together all of a sudden and decide to start a company together? Like this for me, like I've grown multiple companies, and I know that like, dude, you got to vibe with people real well to want to go ahead and start like an actual company. So like, what made this come to fruition? And I don't know who's got the best take at this, but
Yeah, I mean, so honestly, it started as kind of like just a pipe dream. We were actually starting to talk about a service shop here in Philly because our closest service shop is One Stop Board Shop, rocking their One Stop gear.
yeah. Dude, those guys, they all just, I'm pretty sure there's Brian, there's,
Dennis just won your contest. He got
Dennis
some
won,
pushback gear.
and
Yeah.
there's like 3 or 4 people who've got the hoodie.
Junior. Yeah.
Junior, okay.
Junior. Yeah.
So I keep on seeing these orders come in. I'm like, this is the same address. Like, this is amazing. So the whole One Stop Board Shop crew is going to be rocking Pushback. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we started talking on group rides just about not having anything close by to get our board service. That's from Philly. It's about an hour and a half ride. So if you're like, oh, I can go get my tire change, you're 3 hours there and back, and then whatever the tire change time is going to take, right, or something like that. So we kind of started talking about that, and we started doing some logistics on what it would take to open a shop, and we're like, oh, we don't have that kind of money to start up. So we decided that we would try to create a company and hopefully, make some products that can help fund us get to a service shop and a kind of a community center for us in Philly. So we're kind of starting small and in hopes to grow into a full-on shop and offer service and support our local group.
Gotcha. Okay. Pretty much everybody who gets, like, for people listening, like, to understand, like, everyone in the one wheel space right now, other than like the OGs, people who've built since the beginning, like, you know, Float Life, Flight Fins, Craft and Ride, like, who've even made some, like, they're still not crazy profitable companies, like, in the grand scheme of things when you're looking at it. So for people to understand a little bit, I don't want to stray too much away from the stoke about One Wheel, but I want people who are riding to understand, like, the people who are dumping time back into this, like, across the three of you, like what kind of cost even to develop just a product, to bring some more stoke to people, to be like, hey, we want to get a One Wheel shop going. What kind of range of investment have you guys put in?
It's kind of crazy. You know, you look at our product, it's pretty basic, right? It's a you know, a fiberglass filled plastic holder with some magnesium tips in there to create some sparks. But I mean, we're close to 25 grand just to get to this point with our first order coming in. So, you know, it was a lot of work time wise, but then, you know, the money just to get to a single product has been, you know, significant.
Does that include the stock production for your first run in that cost, or is that just your R&D?
It includes our first 1,000 units and 400 refills.
Dang,
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
that's a lot of scratch.
I don't want to like transition too quick to this, but like talking about the product a little bit. You sent us a sample. It got in yesterday. We no one within our crew here has looked at this yet, and like, other than right now, we're taking a look at it. I know there's maybe one or two other people who make these, right? Or you guys probably know about your competition than me. So
yeah, so there's Armadillos makes a Dragon Tail, which is similar to ours but a little bit different. So what differentiates us from theirs is that when you wear out a Dragon Tail, you're replacing the whole unit. For ours, you can just buy a refill kit and replace the 7, we call them ferro pucks. Those 7 pucks come out, you put 7 new ones in, and you're ready to rock.
Gotcha. So, and that's like these little screws in the back here.
That's right. Yeah. So they're Allen key. You just twist out once they wear out, and you pop a new set in.
I gotcha. So the Dragon Tails are just like, once you attach it, you have to get a whole new unit. So
yeah,
potentially your
And
benefits.
it's just one long bar of the sparks.
Gotcha. Okay. So like the effect though, probably about the same. Like we're just like sparks flying.
Well, no, the idea behind the ferropucks, there's more contact surface
Gotcha.
as
Okay.
opposed to the single strip.
So we're talking just flaming sparks all over the place here.
I mean, I know you had Max on your show.
Yeah.
And
Oh
he
yeah.
was like,
Max had these.
He's like, that thing's scary. Like, I mean,
Trail of embers.
it is. You know, we've seen Dragon Tails. You know, we've had them and testing them out as well. And the amount of spark that comes off of ours versus theirs is a lot more significant.
I watched the videos that you guys posted, the earlier videos on I think it was Instagram where I saw it, a couple of clips, and I was like, holy shit, like I want some of like, it's just like that night shot, and it's just like,
Dude, this is Christian with every product we come on. He's like, I want this.
dude, even I identify
We're gonna have to
with
make
Do you guys take Klarna payments? Now?
We're gonna have to make a discount code for Christian.
Yeah,
just
and
so he can
just
order.
make it my wife's name, Rachel, because she'll be the one buying it for me. Yeah, she's still technically owns my One
I
Wheel.
have a
so.
direct deposit to Float Life.
Yeah, yeah. I just donate a portion of my paycheck to yeah.
I won't even go on YouTube on their page anymore. Just so like,
Dude,
I feel it.
Everything.
Well, so like with the pushback, we support like obviously it's just coming out of my bank account, but we support their monthly, like their top tier. I got a bunch of really cool stuff from them for their YouTube stuff, and like love those guys, love supporting. And actually, this was going to be a question I wanted to get into. So there is the Dragon Tail or something. Did you ever talk with them about a collaboration, or have you had any pushback from like any tension or anything like that, or has it been?
Well, so a big part of our our venture into this first product being something similar to the Dragon Tail was that we couldn't get them. So Dan was on a 6-month wait list and still hasn't been able to get one from them. So we were like, hey, if we can supply some of this demand here, it would be good for the community. We reached out to One Stop. They are going to launch in their stores when we launch our website. and they sell Dragon Tail. So they reached out to Corey from Armadillos.
Yeah.
Just to get his blessing that it was like okay to be carrying something that competed with him. We haven't. I mean, Dan just recently reached out to Corey on Facebook, but we haven't talked to him like on a phone call or anything like that. But he seems to be okay with another product being in that same space.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, this is something I come back to with like. This has been one of my big things with Onewheel or Future Motion as a company, right? The reason they get so much heat is because they don't have competition. They've got patents and they've stifled that competition. So
Right.
this is like Mac versus PC, right? If Mac was the only option, there'd be a lot more pissed off people. And
Right.
so I think competition is a great thing for any industry, whether it's
Yeah,
And it brings out the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. I mean, it's why we decided to change it up a little bit, upgrade it with the sparks that you can replace. I mean,
Yeah,
add,
I think-
something to it to make it a little better.
I think there's something. I think like there should always be competition, especially friendly competition. And when we interviewed Matthew Shoemaker, he was saying that he had developed something and that he had accidentally pissed off Jeff, I think, and he was like, "Whoa, I'm not."
Episode.
Yeah, and he was like, "Hey, I'm not trying to piss in anybody's Wheaties or whatever. Like, let's just, let's be friends, And so he pulled the thing from the market, which is, I think, honorable. But I also think like the right amount of friendly competition is good. Like you said, you should always
Of
have.
course.
Like, are you a Mac guy?
Yeah.
I'm a Windows guy. So it's
I'm a Mac guy, but at the same time, like my use case, if I would use like my board, I like to customize my board. So when it comes to computers, like I just need something that functions and works. It's like I don't want to get into the details. And there's going to be people like that with a board too that don't want to modify things, which is great. But in the case of a board, like if we were talking like customization versus not, I would 5,000% be down I like modding my shit, I like customizing, I like throwing things on my board. My other board, Steezy, I've got Badger Sense, I've got flight fins, I've got custom pat. Like that thing's not anything near original.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that. And obviously the VESC is coming up. Like when somebody develops a hub and a motor and all that, like there could be a revival of the XR. But I think if Onewheel doesn't want the competition, then they got to play nice with the community. You know what I mean? And even in your guys' case, with like an awesome product like this, like Corey's a great guy, and I've had conversations with Corey, and it would be I wouldn't see something like we're doing a collaboration where it's Street Sparks with Dragon Tail, like we made a custom color run or something, or we liked that idea and we came up. Because it boosts both of your sales. Like at the end of the day, it's a fucking product that you attach to a bumper that makes some kick-ass sparks.
Yeah, and I think like what's key too is that more competition means more innovation, right? So our version of it has innovated on his kind of idea, right? Like the idea of sparks coming from board is not new. I mean, it was part of like the Tail Devil in skateboarding. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but they're basically a similar product. But we decided, hey, let's do a different design that made it interchangeable. Also, the cost of replacements are less money, right? So maybe that inspires Corey to do something different, or maybe we do a collab or whatever. But it's just kind of pushing each other to do something better. And with our products, Dan is not one to modify his stuff. So if Dan can put it on and Dan can use it,
I can put it on there, I'll do it.
it's for every rider, So it works for everybody. So that's kind of our design motto is like, if Dan can do it,
anybody can.
anyone can. Yeah.
So, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask because these are replaceable, which is awesome. I love that. And you use a tool that you didn't create, so we all have access to them, which is nice. But let's say I put this on my board and I love using it. Let's say I'm like, I don't know, sparking every night. I don't know. How long does...
I spark every night too, brother. Hell yeah.
Spark it up.
But how long does a set of these pucks last?
Yeah, so it's hard to put a tangible number on it, right? Because there's so many different factors. You have rider weight. the speed at which you're traveling, the material which you're grinding it against, right? So if you're going on like a grooved concrete versus like a flatter blacktop or something like that, they're going to wear differently. I had a set on mine and used it pretty generously as we were testing. I think about 2 months out of it before the sparks were worn out.
Pretty good. I thought it'd be faster than that.
Is that only tail? Is that only tail drags, or are you doing some nose drags in there too? Or
so it's recommended just to put it on your tail. So our disclaimer would say don't do that, and I didn't do that. I'm not a nose dragger kind of rider, but you know, I brought a set out and wore it out in 6 days because I was just going nonstop tail drags. So it's like once it's on there for a while and you kind of like, okay, I'm going to hard stop, and there's a bunch of chicks at the red light here. Let me throw some flames down.
Yeah, I think it would be smart probably to buy this and a refill kit, because it's just like everything else. You're going to use I went 500 miles in the first like 6 months of my one wheel, and now I go like, so I feel like I would spark this thing.
I know, like legitimately for me, because I was just talking with Christian about this yesterday. We were doing a ride, and like every time I go out now, I'm just in the habit of nose dragging, just like to be in that space, because I fucking hate the idea of eating it like I had before on my pint. So I'm always like, I'm just dragging it out, like I get that feeling, and those would be gone in like 2 hours for me. Like I'm just like, I turn around. I'm going to dragon, but
we gave a prototype set to one of the guys in our group, and I think it lasted him about 2 weeks. And he's going aggressive. So we'll have refills available when we launch. And I think what we're talking about is the first 100 purchases from our website will get a free refill kit to start.
Sick! Yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah.
What do you guys have a rough estimate of like how much one of these units will cost at this point?
Yeah, so we're looking at retail $69.99. So that's with one unit with the set of sparks in it, and then refill kits should be, I think, $26.99. We're pretty firm on those. It might be a little bit of adjustment.
I don't think that's bad at all. Well, I look at the price of bumpers, right? Because bumpers are we'll say $100 a set, roughly 110. So I'm looking at the attachment of this, like going on my bumper. If I'm like putting this thing on.
Looks really good.
So like if I'm putting this on, even for people's getting fresh bumpers, I mean, this is safe unless you're doing slides, which I wouldn't slide with this on anyways. Like this is probably saving some decent meat off your bumpers too.
Yeah, for sure. My bang bumpers have gotten a lot less abuse with the street sparks on there, and right now I have my sparks are worn out. I just have the holder on there.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to bring it to failure and just beat the hell out of it.
Sure.
And I'm grinding on that, and it's not impacting my bumpers at all.
That's very cool.
That's awesome. Do you have to send custom screws with it, like the extra length to attach it to the bumper? Does that come with it?
Yeah. So we're gonna include. There'll be an Allen key for the replacements, so you can unscrew that. So that'll be included in our packaging, and as well as longer screws to attach it with bang bumpers, stock bumpers, or float plates.
Cool.
Very cool. For the future of these things, like you got one mold come out. I'm assuming you don't have color options yet.
So we did have color options, and then we decided to go with a stronger material. Okay. So our original one was just straight plastic, and we could do runs of 200 in different colors. Then we did a 40% glass-filled plastic, is what you have in front of you there.
Okay.
We can do that in colors. It's really depending on if people like the finish of the colors, because you'll see some of the glass flake in there, and the color won't be.
Does it look like a sparkle almost, or how does that?
No, it almost looks like there's hairs, like fibrous material.
Fiberglass. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So we could do colors, but they're not going to be like pure, the same consistency all the way through. And we'll probably test run some of those with the 40% fill. And if they look cool, we'll do them. But right now we're just going to go with black, because that's the most consistent look.
Oh yeah, like you get a Pushback collaboration, man. You get like one of our like our reds or our blues in there.
I think the
we're all
black
about the vintage and retro looks of flaws and blemishes.
This looks like something you peeled off Batman's car. Like,
Best compliment we got. I think.
Yeah, that's, yeah. Can we quote you on that?
absolutely.
It's done. It's the quote
maybe
there.
the one thing I get known for is for saying that thing. Yeah.
One thing that we are looking into is that the sparks themselves, the ferro pucks, we can use different materials to throw different colors.
I was just about to ask. I'm like, can you get like a blend of like, red sparks, blue sparks, green sparks? Like,
Yeah. So what we're considering doing is like maybe doing some special drops with colored sparks. So like a 4th of July drop, we're doing a red, white, and blue.
That would be
Yeah,
sweet.
things like that.
Yeah.
We got to figure out some back end stuff on making that happen and quantities, when we're ordering, because those pucks are specially made for us, right? So they're cut to a certain size, the right diameter, and then they're threaded through. So we have minimum orders that if we're going to get different colors, we have to, meet those minimums.
dude, I'd be all over that if there's a color combo where I'm like, not like a straight color, but again, like a combination that comes across. You do a red, white, and blue, especially. I will go make a video. I'll put this on my board, and I'll be like, America, fuck yeah, and just have it like sparking all over the place.
Hell yeah.
So launch wise, comment. You're hoping to have a launch out in May. Got some really cool stuff in. Have you guys? Are you gonna do like some custom packaging or anything like for the brand, like for Fluid Theory? This is the first product you guys have. Are you guys gonna launch into additional products to keep on building that brand, or is this just a gateway to get to a local shop?
No, so we have other products that we're kind of in the pipeline right now of the design process. First off, our biggest thing is that we want to get out to those pint riders and pint X riders. So we have a pint prototype right now. When we get some positive cash flow, we'll probably start putting those out right away. As far as packaging goes, we're working on some of that packaging right now while we're waiting for our order to deliver, because we are going to be in retail space as well as direct to consumer, so we want to have something that looks good in the shop too.
Very cool.
I'm curious. So I know that we've talked about this before, but like you said earlier, most of the people and even the big names in one wheel peripherals and aftermarket stuff, it's pretty scrappy. It's a almost everybody has a day job or two, and this is such a passion-led community of aftermarket.
It's all
builders.
grassroots.
Yeah, and it's just like we do this podcast. This podcast costs us money. Like we don't make money here. We just devote our time and spend our money on it. Because we love this and it's amazing, and we're so thankful that people like you guys are willing to come onto the show, and just like we just love that. But what do you guys do? Do you all have day jobs? What do you do when you're not waiting on material to show up?
Yeah, so I can't say who I work for because I have a NDA when I'm on public platforms, but I work for a large computer manufacturer.
Okay.
So I can't really disclose exactly what I do in public, but I could tell you guys off air, but I'll let Dan and Marty go. Yeah.
So I sell solar for Ed Energy. I used to do door-to-door solar, so I used to actually ride my board while I was working, except I would start doing more riding than working, so I kind of had to stop doing that. But yeah, I sell solar for a living.
Nice. Marty?
I'm self-employed. I'm a tumbling instructor and run a tumbling program here in Cherry Hill. We're actually in my gym now. We specialize in teaching and coaching competitive cheerleaders, dancers, and martial artists how to flip.
Taylor's back here grinning up a storm.
I'm a tumbling instructor as well. That's one of my other jobs. Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Oh, I said I'm a tumbling instructor
You're a tumbling
as well.
instructor?
Yeah. Did martial arts, did cheer in college, all that stuff.
Oh, really? Who do you work with? All right, let's go back to one wheel.
This is not a tumbling podcast, but it looks like Marty and Taylor will have some conversations afterwards and geek out about some tumbling. I'm all about it. Do a backflip on a one wheel. Let's get it.
Well, I did see someone do a handstand. I don't know if you guys saw that clip.
That was great.
Yep, I sent it to Taylor. I was like, yo, I'm like, here you go, Taylor. And he landed it too. He got in the handstand and then he like got back on and landed on the board. I was like, oh shit.
I'm real tempted to try it. It's gonna be disastrous, but we're gonna do it.
I've never seen somebody run out as many nose dives as this guy. Like that tumbling definitely seems to be paying off, man.
No broken elbows for you, Marty.
No, not today.
Yeah, where do you guys stand on? I mean, if you broke your elbow a bunch, I guess you probably don't wear elbow pads. Where do you guys stand on safety gear?
So, unfortunately, I still don't wear much. I wear a helmet occasionally. I just started trying to ride trails recently.
Yeah.
For that, I have been wearing full safety gear just because I fall a lot.
Yeah, for sure. That's like when you're in the woods, man, and trying not to get impaled by something.
Yeah. I mean, you're going flying at those trees if you go off the board. So
yeah, it's crazy. You were talking about being on your one wheel for just like your first few hours or whatever, and then breaking your, or was it days? I forget. And
it was like, so I paid like $400 to get it shipped to me in like 2 days.
Damn.
I got it, had it for literally like 25 minutes, and at the end of that, just smashed my elbow.
Oh
Dude,
my gosh.
I had mine for about a week or two, and I had a pretty bad crash. I didn't break anything, but once I crashed, I immediately was like, I'm wearing all of the safety gear.
Yeah.
Like I'm so
Interrupts
good.
you too much.
I keep thinking about all the like dangerous implications that this tool, which I will be purchasing,
yeah,
is.
right.
And so I'm like, how fast do you have to go to get maximum sparkage? Does it cause? Has it ever caused any fire damage to anything? You know.
So yeah, no damage yet. So yeah, no issues with causing any fires. We do have a pretty lengthy disclaimer of where to use it.
Use it in your bedroom. Use it in your attic. Make sure you use it on your fresh bamboo floors.
Yeah, bamboo is perfect for it. But obviously you need to be careful, like, especially places in like California, where you have wildfire warnings, that kind of stuff. We'd recommend taking it off, obviously. No gas stations, any dry vegetation. Yeah, you do have to watch out for cracks because it can snag. But it's designed that the pucks themselves, if they take the main impact, they should crack, prevent you from ripping your threads out on your board and getting tossed. I'm a big proponent of wearing a helmet. I've taken a pretty nasty fall where I slammed my head into the side of a stoop, but luckily I had my helmet on. So I was riding, and Philly is, not the best road and sidewalk conditions, old city.
Welcome to Ohio as well.
Yeah, so I hit a missing piece of sidewalk, didn't see it coming. The board dropped about 1.5 feet. There's just no sidewalk there. And I fell and I rolled into a front stoop, but luckily I had my helmet on, or I probably would have been dead. I constantly try to get Dan to wear a helmet. He's getting better, but he likes breaking things. So,
dude,
I falls every group ride.
I begged this dude to get a helmet. I was like, get a helmet. I
Same.
swear, there's one out there.
Everybody was on my ass for the longest time to get a helmet. And so I found
for me, riding on the board, like the thing I love the most about it is that I feel free, and I don't know, when I wear the helmet and I wear the gear, I just feel constricted. It takes a little bit away from that feeling.
I feel it, dude, and I'm right with you. So like I've become a little bit of a pussy in this. I want to call it like that, right? I'm become a little bit of a pussy. But here's the thing. There's a helmet that I recommend for people like you and me, It's called the Shred Ready helmet. It looks like a ball cap, just like this right here. It's expensive. It's like $180 for the helmet, but it's a whitewater rafting helmet, and it's got like this impact absorbance meant for rocks, but it's got a bill, looks just like a hat. It's got the strap and everything, and it's better than not wearing a helmet. And the only reason I say this is because I was snowboarding. I was actually on my way to get a helmet. I was like, oh, we're gonna do some tricks and stuff, and I launched off a ramp wrong, went about 14 feet in the air, and fractured my tailbone majorly and smashed my head, went completely unconscious, and it took about 6 months to recover from that concussion. I had to get on some supplements and stuff. So that was the first time I got my brain knocked enough to be like, I've got 3 kids, 1 on the way. Like,
you're all right, bro.
yeah, so there was that point. And then like elbow pads and knee pads, 888 makes these things called the Exoskin. And it's not like an actual pad, because I have pads as well. I only wear them when I'm like ripping in the mini ramp, because I like to slide out. But they make these Exoskin pads, and it just it's not restrictive. I love them. I love the knee pads, and I love the elbow
gel
pads.
Material?
It's like a Kevlar outer coating, but it's got like
C1
a
or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, they're called Exoskin. Again, a little bit expensive, but apparently you just pay for more expensive things if you want to look stylish while you're doing it.
I'm willing to give anything a try.
You know what? I just became a brand ambassador for Beyond Riders. I don't know if you've seen their stuff, but it looks like
I don't know.
It's
what
really
that
cool.
is.
It looks like a flannel jacket, and then there's pads that go inside of it.
Oh, cool.
So you're all padded up, but it looks like you're just wearing a regular flannel.
Yeah.
It looks like you're on your way to the steel mill.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
me and another community person were talking about potentially like we do like seasonal drops, or we're planning seasonal drops. Like season 1, we had the hoodie, which I went through a custom supplier. We may bring it back with like 2 new colorways for like a winter drop, but we were looking at doing like a denim jacket or something with some like built-in pads of just go across and make have the patches go all across it. Yeah, biker gang,
right?
Exactly, right.
Dope skull in the back. Yeah.
Yes.
No sleeves on mine, please.
No sleeves, perfect. I don't know how I'm gonna get elbow pads built into no sleeves.
Tyler
I got
Taylor
elbow
on his
pads,
pint. Bad to the pint.
Soon. I don't know how soon, but soon I will have an XL.
It'll
on my
just
t-shirt.
Do a flip.
the the patch. It'll be the Taylor patch, and it's just a giant drawing of Taylor with a tiny, like one of those little. Like riding on one of that.
You guys just been
You gotta
throwing me
throw
under the
on the
bus
Daisy
lately.
Dukes too.
But yeah, so for your safety equipment, I'm like, I grew up skating. I think helmets are for dorks. That's the culture you grow up, especially if you've ever skated. Yeah, that's right. Helmets are for dorks.
It's that 90s like culture.
Yeah.
It's a culture thing. But here's the thing with the one wheel culture. Again, with the one wheel culture, it is so fucking acceptable. It's not even funny. Like pads, helmet. You don't. It is a mental thing. You don't look at a one wheel rider riding safety gear the same way that you look at a skateboarder riding safety gear.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up skating, and I wore a helmet and knee pads because I rode a lot of vert, and it was like that's okay because
If
the
it's a
pros-
vert, yep.
you're riding vert, but if
Yeah.
you're on the street and you're rocking around with safety gear on, and the street skaters
Like
nah,
helmet and
dude.
pad, like what a dork. Like, can you even
Yeah.
kickflip?
Yeah, you can't even do a 3-stair, right?
I've seen people riding around lately at parks with helmets on, which I was like, oh, look at these skateboarders with helmets, but they're always unsnapped.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, okay, it's close. Like what, like that.
You're cool, dude.
It's close.
But anyways, like that was my. I'll send you the Shred Ready link too if you like. Like, dude, I love that helmet. I still rock an S1 because I like having stickers all over it. But this one I keep like clean. I put a Pushback sticker on it so it's on brand. Like, and I forget about it. I've literally worn the helmet into like a restaurant because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm wearing like it feels like you're wearing a hat. You forget about it.
The bill on it is like really
I'm definitely
long.
down to try it.
It is cool. I wish I would have known about it before. I mean, I bought one of those 1,000 ones that's like shaped pretty cool, but the once I saw his, I was like, dang, like the bill is like this long. You could put a rear view mirror on that bill.
Yep. I'm gonna say that 1,000 one. Somebody commented the other day. They're like, it reminds me too much of a equestrian helmet, like a horse riding helmet.
They do.
That's
It's
funny.
like the preppy version of a.
Try some polo.
It's like if you took like a scooter gang helmet, like a mod squad helmet, and mixed it with like a horse riding helmet. That's hilarious. That's really
So we have Coach Christian, the equestrian riding one wheel rider.
funny. Yeah. I don't like horses, but I do like the helmet.
So yeah, that's off our thing. But back to fluid theory, right? Oh yeah, you got a stink bug right on your leg.
This is a common theme in the studio.
Somebody call my wife. Somebody call my wife.
Somebody tell me in Philly, do you guys have a stink bug problem?
Last year.
Yeah, well, we have stink bugs, and we also have lantern flies. That's
Oh yeah, lantern bugs or whatever. They're the
Here, pull
worst.
this.
they're
everywhere.
invasive and horrible.
What is a lantern bug?
So the lantern fly comes from Asia, and
The fuck's it doing in Philly?
yeah, somehow it got on the East Coast.
Brought it over.
Yeah, Marty brought it. But there's like they have no predators, so these things just go rampant. Like
I'm looking
Dude,
it up.
when you try to
We
kill
gotta
one
look
and,
this-
like,
I have to
squash
look
it,
up an
like, they
Asian
fucking-
fly.
They fly away. Like
the lantern fly.
The
actually,
lantern fly. Okay, go ahead.
It kind of looks like it's cool, like almost like a ladybug when it's full grown. But like PA has a thing like if you see one, kill one. That's it.
Shit.
Ooh.
Spotted lanternfly has like dots on its wings.
Yep,
Is
that's
that
it.
it? Is it? Does it glow?
Looks poisonous.
It does look poisonous. But
Has like a bright red body. Does it glow?
I don't think it glows.
What a
but when you
useless
smash them,
bug.
their guts are orange.
That makes sense from the look of this bug.
That's nasty.
So we have fireflies here, but everyone likes fireflies. They're fun.
Yeah.
Fireflies are great.
Yeah.
My kids love it. They go around. They're capturing fireflies, doing all that.
Dang,
but
dude, that's
When I was a kid, we used to
real
hit
problem.
them with a wiffle ball bat.
and the glowing.
all right, well, so lanternflies are basically like what we get with stink bugs around here, man. And these stink bugs, like, dude, like especially in my
This is
garage, like
worse
I'll get
than
them by
stink
like. I'll get them by the hundreds sometimes. I'm like, oh my
yeah.
gosh, dude.
Yeah,
there's
there's
so
a
many
lot.
stink bugs. I'm gonna make a stink bug patch. That's it. That's the next design. We're gonna make a stink bug pushback patch. It's just
I'm
a
into
fucking
it.
stink bug.
I'm into
Everyone who listens to the podcast will know what's up. So.
And it's wearing a helmet.
On a pint.
Oh man.
Shit. All right.
Back
so
on topic. Sorry guys.
So check it out. We've got we got Fluid there. We got the Street Sparks. They're gonna come out. So probably by the time we release this episode, where are we at here? It is.
This is like 4 weeks out.
So yeah. So we might release this one a little bit sooner. Keep us in touch of like when you guys launch, like when that things are live, because maybe we'll kind of try and coordinate a release at the same time with this episode.
Except for in the episode, we talk about how they're not releasing yet.
Yeah,
It's a continuity issue.
continuity.
People are gonna know
Not
that we
release.
recorded this in
Oh,
advance.
everyone knows that we record beforehand. I mean, that's just part of it.
Listen, I can't edit that out in post. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If people so here's the thing. If you're watching the episode, we have live stuff coming. You'll be a part of live things, or maybe live things happened before you saw this. But to make schedules work, and I talked about this with No Limits Till Ride Electric, like to make people's schedules work with like you and then us over here, like it is not an easy task having that many people at once in schedule. Like it's complicated. You guys know this, like to make everybody's schedule work all at once. So we record whenever the fuck we can, and then we release it to you in a timely manner so we don't run out of content.
Yeah, and it seems like sometimes, for some reason, like 3 different guests will have availability all in the same week. So we're like, okay, I'm going to record this, and then I'm going to change my shirt, and then we're going to record another.
Yeah, right.
It's-
Bulk it out sometimes. So, when you got, we'll release this right around the time or right before it, so we can get things across. Where can people like where can people find more information, or are you guys posting some stuff now on it, like on Instagram or anything, or what's
Yeah, so we have an IG page. It's just Fluid Theory, and then our website is thefluidtheory.com, which right now it just has a coming soon kind of splash page happening. They'll also be available through One Stop Board Shop when we launch as well, so that you can order online or walk in and buy them there.
sweet?
We're working on getting some other retailers on board at the moment. So if we have updates with that, we'll let you know. But we're talking to Rent eBoards.
Oh, cool.
They have a bunch of locations that are interested in carrying them as well.
Who came up with the name? How'd you guys come up with the name?
Fluid Theory or
Fluid Theory. Yep.
Yeah, the Street Sparks makes sense.
Yeah, Street Sparks.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Street Sparks. Well, it's kind of abstract.
What?
but
Yeah.
let me,
What does it do? Yeah.
That actually took longer to figure out.
But so Fluid Theory, based in Philly, we wanted to have some kind of representation of the East Coast and have like a Philly-based name, which out of the box doesn't sound like it. We've played around with like Philly Float Mafia and different Philly-based kind of names.
I think you should have named them Blue Slide Sparks.
The Fluid Theory is actually Ben Franklin's first theory of electricity. So we thought there's a tie to Philly, there's an electricity tie for electric vehicles, and then kind of fluid and flow, it kind of fits into the feel of the ride. You're riding fluid through the city, that kind of stuff. So Ben Franklin's original theory was one fluid theory, and we just kept it at Fluid Theory.
That's awesome.
Fact was wrong.
Yeah, he was wrong about that. That was before the kite and the key experiment. So
I gotcha. It's a killer name. I love it. I was just like, how did you guys come up with it? So Philly reppin', PA. How far are you guys from like Blue Slide Park? I'm a big Mac Miller fan, so I'm geeking out here.
I have no idea actually.
I live in New Jersey. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where I am half the time anyway.
R.I.P. Mac Miller. I'll just
It's
throw that
crazy.
in there.
It's crazy how long of a state Philadelphia is. I mean, Pennsylvania is. Like from Philadelphia to like
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is like a long drive.
It's like 600 miles. Yeah.
It takes us from where we're sitting right now. It takes about 3 hours to get to Pittsburgh, but then it would take like another, I don't know what, like, and
4 hours
it's
maybe.
Another 4
insane.
hours.
Yeah, like to think about that.
It's weird. Like PA, you have Philly on the East Coast, and then Pittsburgh, towards the western part of the state, and the middle of it is just corn. There's really nothing going on.
Yeah,
Amish and corn, baby.
we have
Yeah.
a similar story around this in northeastern Ohio. I had a friend who lived in Philly, and he and his wife lived there for a long time, and they were so pumped about, like, is it now? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm trying to remember because it's been a while. You guys have like in Philly, there's a park like every square mile or something like that.
So we do have a lot of parks. I think one of the things Philly's known for is they have the most public art than any other city in the world.
That's cool.
So we have a lot of murals, a lot of sculptures. There's a lot of green spaces.
Yeah.
And they're doing more to protect that as the city continues to grow. Like we saw a mass kind of fleeing from New York of people coming to Philly because it's cheaper. During the pandemic, they're like, I'm living in a shoebox in New York. I can go get a 3-bedroom house in Philly for the same price. So we saw a kind of a big migration from New York to Philly and a lot of development happening.
That's cool.
Yeah. You guys still have really narrow streets, right? For the formerly horse-drawn vehicles or something.
What to see here? One bounced out. You guys still hear us? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
You guys have pretty narrow roads here, or
In Philly.
It depends on the road. I mean, we have lots of different types. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, so you look at Philly as like it's one of the older East Coast cities. So there's certain areas of Philly where they were never intended to put a car down the street.
right?
Right.
It's brick paved roads, cobblestone stuff.
You guys got a
and
fuck
then
ton of Amish.
It was. I used to live in a town called Parksburg, where the Walmart had horse stalls for parking.
Yeah,
Like, it was
we have those
super.
here. There's like every grocery store here has like a place where Amish people tie up and then like a bucket for them to shovel the horse shit into.
Yeah.
It's like so weird. Like people like don't understand when you're
Yeah, it's weird.
like unless you've lived it. Like once you see it, like my family, my nephew will come up and be like, why is there a horse here? Like what's happening?
When I first started dating my wife, I was living out in Amish country, and like I didn't tell her I was living out. I was like, I live near Philly, and she was like, this is not Philly. Like she's like, I'm coming down the road and there's like Mennonites riding bicycles without pedals and Amish people riding horse and buggy around. She's like, this is. You said you lived in Philly. What are you talking about?
You live in Amish country.
Yeah.
That's it.
Call
out
your
there.
dad. You're in a cult.
Yeah, right. I want to get back on one wheel conversation here real quick. We're gonna wrap it up real soon, but I want to talk about for you guys like promotion strategies this year. Like, you guys hitting up any events? You guys gonna do any? You gonna be at Float Life Fest? Any of these things, or what do you got going on?
So, right now, currently, there's a bunch of us that are going to Oak Shred Fest.
Yeah.
Nice. We'll be there too.
We'll be there. And then a bunch of us do plan on going to the Float Life Fest.
Sweet.
So, I mean, other than that, I'm not sure, but, those two are probably, are definite.
Are you gonna be selling gear down there?
So we're not going as a vendor. We're just going to hang out and get to meet some of the people in the community. We are sending a couple units to Northwest Electric Fest, I believe it's called.
Yep.
It's the guys from
Chris
Pacific
Hughes.
Northwest.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris. So we're going to send them a couple of units to give away at their event. And we'll hopefully have some banners to send out their way. That's in July. But right now we're just kind of trying to get to some of the events just as, riders. And then maybe next year we'll be there as vendors, or maybe even sponsors in future events. We'd like to throw some events here in Philly, probably sometime next year that we sponsor, kind of partnership with One Wheel Philly and Fluid Theory to have like something like a Stoke Bird where it's like an organized event where people come out and we do some, group rides and some trick sessions at the skate parks and things like that. But it's not like, really all under one roof or at like a car camping site type thing. It's kind of use the city, different parts of the city as a group.
Yeah, totally.
That sounds awesome.
I mean, when we look, and I say this a lot, but about the one wheel community, right? But it is one of the most collaborative communities that I've ever. Everyone is extremely friendly. There's just something about a one wheel rider when they get in a community of people. And I know not all the brands play like this, but I mean, I think one of you guys' keys to success could be, collaborations with other brands, whether it's a colorway or something like that, or if they're at this event, cool, can we do like a Float Life Street Sparks collab of some sort? These things that help bring more exposure to you guys by helping everybody grow all at once, not just your brand, waiting to, trying to pump all this stuff out or advertising costs and all that shit. Like that collaborative effort and those things when you put in to be like, hey, we can do this together. It just, I don't know. I mean, that's how we've grown.
Everybody up.
Yeah, it's one hand washes the other, and
Right.
that collaboration is important to us, and it's part of the community in general. Like, when we started out doing the group rides, and that's how we all met each other. You're getting like 3 or 4 people showing up, and then it was just consistency of like doing it every week, and growing the group, and a lot of the things that we've done to get Fluid Theory where it's at today has come from people in our group. Like we have a videographer that's going to do a little social media video for us when we're getting a little closer to launch. One of our riders helped with the initial design. It's like an architecture background, and it helped us kind of spec out what was in our head to get it on paper. Yeah, thank you, Hunter. And then we have photographers and things like that in our group, and we're trying to do as much as we can within the community. If they, their skills meet that level that we need. But yeah, we're super open to collaboration. We want to be part of the community and a brand that supports it. We're working with Meals on One Wheels. I know you guys had them on. So they just sent me a bunch of stuff that we're going to raffle away at some of our group rides to get donations. And we're hoping to do some Meals on One Wheels events in Philly this spring and summer. Just trying to helps us with the cops in the city, giving us a kind of a good rep of being out there doing something good for the community, because sometimes they bust their balls for, riding down the street in the middle of traffic. But
dude, and like I know exactly that. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
They harassed us for charging.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we've been extremely fortunate here in Ashland, because like the popos used to be like that, especially for like skaters and stuff. But like every cop I've talked, I don't know, we've been really lucky in our area, very fortunate for the one wheel riders. Every cop I've talked to has been like, oh, what is that thing? Like, I need to get one of those for my force.
I think it helps too that most of the people in our community that have these things are old people, like
right.
like
most of the cops we run into are pretty cool. It's just the occasional one that's given us an issue.
Yeah,
to be honest, we were blowing a lot of smoke in public, and that's why they stopped. So
yeah, we have a guy in our ride group called Adam. He's a pretty cool dude, but he's a barber. And he cuts a lot of the police officers' hair. So like sometimes like we'll be out riding and they'll stop him, and I'm like, oh no, are we getting hurt? And then they're just like,
that's
chatting.
like having a riding FOP card.
Yeah, dude. We've been really lucky. They've all been awesome.
Yeah,
we also don't have street sparks yet, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, once we start sparking up the roads, they're going to be looking at.
Right.
I was yesterday. We went out. Taylor has started to learn FPV drone and going out, and we had Cameron Ridge, the one who just put out the float effect. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Phenomenal film. He came back through, and we were doing a little bit of a follow up with him, and they were out flying, and I was just waiting because we were at a park, and they were both flying these FPV drones. There's like 2 fucking wasps just flying around, and we're on the path, and people are kind of giving us looks. They're kind of looking around. I'm like, I'm just waiting for the cops to show up. Be like, yeah, what's going on here?
I'd be like, you don't own the sky above you. I'm sorry.
But
I don't even touch mine. It's scary.
You already crashed one into a tree.
No, that was the Skydio too. But the FPV I won't touch. I keep failing on what is it? Simulation.
yeah,
Dude, just get. We have so much to talk about after this podcast. Just get.
Marty made a new BFF.
Yeah, I'm actually on my way to Philly
there's
right now.
FPV RC cars now, apparently.
what the hell?
That's cool.
That's fun.
Yeah. So
That'd be. I drive an FPV RC car before I drive an FPV plane.
right. See,
so.
you're on the ground.
Yeah, dude, that'd be fun. Well, hell yeah, guys. Dude, thank you guys for coming up on the show. We're gonna link out. Let's get your Instagram socials here real quick. So personal socials, like if you guys are posting.
So I post. I run the One Wheel Philly page, but if you want to see pictures of my kids, you can follow me at Quinn Andrew.
Okay.
Vacation pictures, but One Wheel Philly or One Wheel _ Philly would be the One Wheel content for our group.
I post mostly one wheel, videos and pictures on Instagram at One Wheel Theory.
Okay.
I'm at Lost Boy. Period. XIII.
Lost Boy 13. Is that what it is? Nice. All right. Yeah, and you're posting all kinds of one wheel stuff too, right? So make sure you give these guys a follow, help rep them, help support, follow Fluid Theory.
Yeah, the Fluid Theory one would be a big help. At Fluid Theory, that's the one we're here to talk about. But
Totally.
I mean, most of the stuff that we post on One Wheel Philly makes it to both. So, but we'd love a follow it in both locations.
I love it. Oh wait, before we're done here, we got this out, but do we have any of the clips loaded up? Can we? I want to see the broken bone.
Absolutely. We
Oh,
can do
yeah.
that. We can
Dan's
do
broken
that.
bone.
Maybe.
Maybe. Let's see. Let's see if it happens.
fun.
The audio,
I can hear
Can't see it, but
yeah.
the audio is funny.
I can splice
Let's
that.
let's play it one more time. Let's see if we can actually see it here. I don't know if it'll play or not. We're gonna give it an attempt. No. Nope.
So far, it's pretty fun.
Smash.
Hearing it is pretty funny.
We're gonna watch this one afterwards, but our reaction is probably just about as similar.
Probably.
So far, it's pretty fun.
Smack.
Didn't change his
Done.
mind, though.
No, you're like,
You know what?
on that thing.
I'm taking this back.
Persistence.
My reaction without seeing the video and just listening to the audio might be better than my actual watching of the film because I'm just like imagining.
I'm just gonna black screen it. Just all we hear is laughter. Just
So far, it's pretty.
So far,
fun.
it's pretty. I'm about to make a. I'm making a shirt. So far, it's pretty fun, and then it's just a broken bone.
That's a really good idea.
Oh, that's good. I don't know if any of the other clips are gonna play, or is it just images?
I
don't
will
know.
try to see if the other clips will play real quick.
All right, let's see. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, I had to choose which crash to send you guys. I mean, I have several.
I think you sent the right one. Yeah, that's like my new favorite thing I've ever.
We love our platform, and it's phenomenal for what it does. But I mean, it is limited in what it can do sometimes. So
It's being very limited right now.
we'll watch some of these clips afterwards, and we'll maybe try and splice them into the episode. But guys, thank you so much for hopping in. Thanks for chilling on a Saturday morning with us. It's
Thanks
great
for
to meet
having
you.
us.
You
Love
guys
your-
got to
love
make
your
your way
show.
up to Ohio. Travis just built a bridge. He built a massive bridge for the trails out of some
That's
old shelves.
the Golden Great Bridge, right?
Yeah, right. The gold. Yeah.
It's massive. It's taller than It's like as tall as me. I'm 6 feet tall. It's got to be at least 6 feet tall.
Yeah, well, that one top runner had like 20 foot probably. He's going to cut them down in like the actual
Yeah.
rafters. Granted, the bridge is still only 6.5 or whatever, but
Yeah.
like it's way bigger than me. I had
I
to
don't-
reach up over to get
I
in
don't
it.
know if my fat ass is gonna be able to get up that thing. My one wheel's gonna be like.
You gotta take
So-
speed.
Come to the exclusive trails. We've got those things coming along. We've got maybe a pushback event in the works for someplace bigger for 23. We'll see. But
You
yeah.
guys will be at Oak City too, right?
Yeah, we're a sponsor of Oak City. That's going to be our biggest event this year.
Awesome.
That we'll be at. We've got some sick ass stuff, so make sure you bring some money to buy our shit. And
Awesome. Me and Marty will be there.
we've got
See you there.
we're calling it
Yeah.
the canteen, which is like a 3-drink tube cooler that we got going across.
It's like a beer sling, is what I keep
Yep,
thinking.
it's a
of it.
beer sling, and we got these slap koozies. So they're like those like little bracelets that used to like
Oh, yeah.
in elementary you slap on. Well, it's a koozie. It's the same idea. You just slap it on your drink.
So for the drink you have in you get 3 backup drinks in the sling and 1 with a koozie,
Yep.
nice and cold.
And then you get pushback vision, which are just black sunglasses that have the Scully. You know how they have like printed stuff on glasses? They have little perforated holes. It's pushback Scully with like a trippy background. So you get pushback vision mixed with your beer sling and a slap koozie. So
Yeah,
drink on.
yeah, and if you finally get a helmet, we've got stickers too. So
I want to let you guys know too is when we get our production order in, I'm going to send you out some refills and an extra holder, so the 3 of you all have some sparks and I'll send you
Nice.
Hook
I'll
the
send
crew up.
a pint prototype that Taylor can try.
Taylor
To Taylor,
can use.
there you go. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
finally some pint love.
Well, yes, dude, guys, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you
I hope
so
we can help
much.
make you guys some sales. Hey, let's set up for the launch. I know you guys are gonna do a refill and type stuff. Let's set up a pushback code of some sort. Just call it pushback if you want. Anyone who uses the code pushback will get something special. I'll let them determine what it is. I like to keep the surprise element in there, the element of surprise. They'll get something special. We'll talk some details in private afterwards if you want. But let's set them up with a code of some sort when you guys go across, and get a gout.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you
so
guys for coming on. And this wraps another episode of The Pushback. This would be 11 episodes? 12? 10? 10? No, 11. Yeah. 11
Episode
episodes.
11.
We're about to wrap season 1 here, guys. We're going to take a little bit of a break before we come back into season 2. So we can recoup and
Ride our
bring some
boards.
more kick-ass people. Yeah, it's summer, man. I'm not recording nothing. No, we're going to bring some sweet content to you guys. More shit like this, dude. Just continuing these conversations. Hell, maybe we'll even get the Papa FM to come on and talk a bit about their GT.
I'll be sick that day.
All right, dudes, have a good one.
Bye, guys.